Gautam Adani is a self-made Indian billionaire. We've seen him buy up asset after asset across the country. Ports, airports, power plants.
Whenever he speaks about his group, he always says that his conglomerate's goals are aligned to India's goals.
It is the belief in the India growth story that keeps the Adani group going.
As recently as just a few months ago, he was the second richest person in the world. To his critics, however, he's a more complicated figure.
Political observers think Gautam Adani is very close to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This was one of the hot topics when Narendra Modi came to power.
On the morning of January 24th, about a couple hours after sunrise in Mumbai, journalists across the country were greeted with a large 100-page document from Hindenburg Research, in which it accused this empire of essentially stock manipulation and accounting fraud. There was an instant market reaction.
In Adani companies, we're looking at losses of north of $130 billion.
The last thing Modi wants is to be involved in any of this muck.
There is no doubt that the government of India needs empire builders like Adani, but underlying all of that, there was a sentiment that if Adani fails, what happens to India's own ambitions? If you're living or visiting in this country, you really cannot be independent of an Adani asset. Coal mined from Adani coal mines is transported through Adani-run ports and railroads into power plants that Adani owns. The electricity generated from these power plants then runs through Adani-owned grids into homes built with Adani cement.
He keeps very, very low profile. We have not seen him splashing money, buying luxurious cars or buying yacht or holidaying in luxurious destination.
The relationship between Adani and Modi go back decades, even before Modi was Prime Minister. Both of them hail from the same state of Gujarat, renowned for sending out entrepreneurs around the world. Adani has grown so big so fast. Adani is aligning the business goals of the Adani conglomerate with the goals of Prime Minister Modi. If you want to grow a country, you need to build your airports, you need to build your infrastructure such as electricity grids and power plants.
It's very natural that he will lean towards big businessmen, big conglomerates, big business groups to develop such kind of stuff.
If Modi has come to the world stage as a political leader who understands the needs of business, Adani has been a big contributor to building this image. There's another level of questioning about whether Adani is actually funding Prime Minister Modi. For instance, Prime Minister Modi, when he was campaigning for his first term in office, he very publicly flew in an Adani plane. The party claims that they paid the Adani Group rent for use of this plane. India's political funding was always opaque, but since Modi has come to power, there's an added level of opaqueness. The Adani Group has repeatedly denied financial improprieties or receiving favors from the government. Hindenburg Research is a firm incorporated in New York City. It was registered by Nathan Anderson, who is what we would call a short seller. He exposes discrepancies in accounting with the intention, of course, of driving down stock prices.
It was a very strongly worded allegation because it said it's the biggest con in India's corporate history. It wiped off more than $100 billion itself. One report and a few trading sessions has taken Gautam Adani from the top list of world's richest men.
There were many allegations in the Hindenburg report against Adani. The main allegation was that people close to Gautam Adani used offshore shell companies to pump up the prices of stock in Adani's listed firms. He then, according to these allegations, used these pumped up share prices as collateral to borrow more money from banks. Bloomberg has investigated some of the funds. These are all Mauritius entities, a country known as a tax haven, that have little or no information on who are the beneficial owners of these funds, essentially where the money trail leads to.
Well, billionaire Gautam Adani has published a lengthy rebuttal to allegations of fraud by short seller Hindenburg Research.
The report is a malicious combination of selective misinformation, stale, baseless and discredited allegations.
The fundamentals of our company are very strong. Our balance sheet is healthy and assets robust.
When the Hindenburg report came out, there were several people in India, nationalists of course being among the forefront of these, who said that this was just an attempt to malign the image of India.
Gautam Adani's conglomerate saying that any attack towards Adani Group is attack towards India's goals. They were trying to reiterate to us, they never defaulted any payments in their history. And they always maintained a conservative cash management tactics. So what has Hindenburg Research allegation done to Adani? The aggressive expansion has been slowed down. The capex has been slowed down. You will not see Gautam Adani as the busiest deal maker in 2023, unlike in 2022.
They are continuing with this process of prepaying and repaying a whole lot of debt. That seems to be a very big part of how they're trying to portray themselves as this very good corporate citizen, as the opposite, basically, of what Hindenburg had alleged.
So there's good debt and there's bad debt. Of course, you have to have debt. But what is the level of debt you can keep? That is a key question. The critical lesson learned in this entire episode is how robust is your regulatory framework, how robust is your judiciary framework, and how good is Indian landscape to do business.
As India looks to tap Western capital more frequently, it will necessarily have to adapt to Western ways of doing business. India will have to open up its accounting books to Western eyes.
To answer to the question whether Adani Group is too big to fail is a trickier one. It can survive the Hindenburg Research allegations because it is built on strong fundamentals and it never defaulted.
Next year, Modi of course has re-elections. This is something that Modi will pull no stops to get at. His party wants that third term in office. And once it gets that third term in office, Modi then needs to cement his legacy. And for that, he needs billionaires like Gautam Adani.